I want to talk about one more thing before I dive into these emails. You know what I'm saying? Deities and power. I repeat, deities and power. Now, don't get spooked out by the words and everything of what you have been taught for these things to mean, as far as power and deities. Because for the most part, how do you get power? At the most systematic truth way of explaining it, you get it from a source, right? You get power from a source. Now, a lot of y'all gonna get spooked out again because y'all tie all these extra humanistic, man-made, logical terms to things. So now source became a deity to you, where you just need to understand this, right? You might be in a circumstance or a situation where you might need to wash your ass, right? So you may need some soap power, right? So you may need to go to the source of wherever they sell soap at, right? So for the most part, you would go to the cosmetic area of whatever store that you're going to. So, or bath and body work, whatever the area is called. But that's I'll let you know on a systematic truth level right there. That's all you need to put with it. You don't need to put any added attributes to it. You know what I'm saying? Unless depending on what you're talking about. Now, when we talk about a deity, now here's one of the problems that we got going on here. That I think, that I know. In the third dimensional realm, we have an issue where we are tying, well, not me, but mankind is conflating the deity with the power. And here's where you get a lot of issues from. When you conflate and mix and mingle the deity with the actual power. Because when you get to the later life that came after the fact, like the lesser life that came after the fact and things of that nature, you know, like you. And there will be no reason for you to have to go to history or go to past civilizations if you didn't come after the fact. So let's use our common sense. When I say things, let's just not look at how I look and like to build arguments where there's no argument at. You see what I'm saying? For you to be sitting here and you have the ability to read a history book, or you have the ability to watch ancient shit or go to past civilizations for any type of knowledge, that lets you know you came after the fact because you wasn't there then. So you came after the fact. So here's the issue when I come getting back to my point where people are conflating deities with the powers. Because when you get the later life, see, I experienced all this as Archangel Uriel. So that's why I'm able to explain it like this. When you get the later life, right? The only representation that the later life has of a certain energy signature is an actual character or a deity that played that energy signature out, right? Now remind you, you are a deity. You are in density. You are in a dimension. You have dimension to you. I don't even want to start using religious words, so we're not even going to get into that. But for the most part, let's just keep it at that. You're in density. You have dimension. You have came down. So, for the most part, right, you are a deity. So, when you get lost into building limitations in your own mind, like as far as like certain moral systems that you have learned from other spirits, or certain limitations or certain blockages that you claim that you can't do, right? What's actually happening is you're leaving space open, and space always is within space, and there's always vortexes, so there's always energies flowing through these things as frequency waves. So when you give up your space, aka give up in some way, shape, or form in the third dimension, aka put a certain blockage or limitation or something you claim you can't do, right? What happens here is you you allow someone else to take up that space or take up that frequency vibration that's passing, right? So that is power, because power is energy, right? And energy comes from a source, just like power. So power is energy. And we're in a universe where everything is free energy. So if you're not trying to gain any type of free energy, then you allowing others to take that energy and utilize it for what the fuck they want to utilize it for. So it doesn't matter what area of life, what frequency vibration you're vibrating on, what dimension you're in at the moment, what realm of reality you're in within that dimension at the moment, within that plane of existence. At the same time, what matters is, are you taking your power or not? And I like to say it's your power, but really it's just all of our power. It's free power. Because here's why, and here's another big confusion, right? This big God confusion. Now check this out. God is the source of power. So this is what makes God a parameter. Because beyond anything else, it can only be a specific space and location. Before you get to any creation, before you get to any manifestation, you got a space and location. And like I told you, goddammit, your spirit is your space. Now, I got many videos breaking down how you became an offspring of a space, aka spirit. But check this out. This parameter, this space, what's happening is you got a lot of creations, aka deities, being created out of this parameter. And they're utilizing that parameter, that power source, for their own perception. So if you have a center parameter, a space, that is no deity. When you get creations coming out of that deity, they end up having what? Their own perception. Because their own space, their own perception, their own idea, their own outlook, and their own position in that location of space based upon how they see this power. So, if we're all offsprings of this parameter, you're no longer in that center parameter as a deity. You're no longer, and I'm speaking to all levels, 4th, 5th, and 6th dimensional beings, 7th, 8th, 9th dimensional beings. Hey, I'm not biased. I'm not prejudiced in my videos. So, like I said, from that center, and I don't even like that. Well, this is where everybody's even copied their own center plexus, solar plexus from. But for the most part, from this overall space, offspring spaces, right, have no choice but to be in their own position and location based upon where this space is offsprings from. This space is offsprings from, and none of y'all is the parameter space. So you have no choice but to look at it from your own perception. So if that's the power, you have no choice but to utilize your power in your own individual way, which becomes a soul, an individual spirit. So if you got a bunch of deities utilizing a power source to their likings, and now you got offsprings. Now, say you got an offspring, this deity, right? Now, this is his own parameter now. Now, it got offsprings and shit like that. A lot of y'all got fucked up children and shit like that. Hey, but we ain't gonna talk about all that. But we just gonna get into, you know what I'm saying? See, your spiritual family ain't got nothing to do with your physical family. You get what I'm saying? The physical flesh in 3rd dimension, where this vibrating at, that is representations of who you shared the most experiences with through this astral travel. But that may not have anything to do with what spirits you was birthed from, what two spaces that came together you was birthed from, what angle you was birthed from as a spirit, as just a pure concept. And you became a concept based upon a space and a location and a position, based upon a bunch of other spaces and locations and positions, all surrounding that center parameter, which would be the center power, which would be the source. So the only representation in this 3rd dimension, like I hate to use religious words, but the only representation that y'all got from that parameter as a physical representation of it will be the term Lucifer. Everything will be created through it. The light. So that's the soul. Lucifer is the solar plexus of this overall being we are in. And this overall being we are in It's an overall spiritual being. So it's the overall space we are in. You see what I'm saying? And everything within that space makes up the body of that being. So God is really not a deity, but we are the deities of God. We are the deities of the parameter. You see what I'm saying? We are the positions of that parameter. We are the different outlooks and spots and locations of that parameter. And what makes things matter and manifest is the idea and the imagination of that parameter. So that's where imaginations even got created from within this realm of reality. You see what I'm saying? From a parameter. Then once a parameter is in a space and location, right? It has a surrounding. A lot of things take place after that. Y'all could go to my other videos for all that shit. But, you know, for this video right here, this is this. We don't need to be tying deities to these powers. Because a lot of times, y'all give these deities powers that may overwhelm them. You see what I'm saying? There's certain deities out here that don't even deserve certain power. You can access certain power that may overwhelm you based upon your ability to handle it, or how understanding or overstanding and understanding you are with the power that you actually got access to. You know what I'm saying? When a person has access to a power that's out of their hands, it can cause explosions. And explosions will play out in a third dimensional realm as you getting killed. You might end up in an accident in some way, shape, or form. Wrong place, wrong time. You know what I'm saying? Or you just experiencing a harsh scenario at the moment. Certain deities look at you and see and they can see the potential that you will be able to use with a power, and they'll come and try to prevent you from accessing that power. So they'll create circumstances and situations in the 4th, 5th, or 6th dimension first. And if you're strong enough in that realm, then they attack you 3rd dimensional wise, which is physically. But the way they attack you 4th, 5th, or 6th dimensional wise is through concepts and ideas. So they may bring a certain situation around you to take your mind off what your state of being was on. Like, you ever had that feeling in your mind like, okay, I know something attacking me, but I know it ain't 3rd dimensional wise, but you know your way of fighting it is kind of mentally, right? And then once you dive into that, you're on your own, but you know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about? It's the same way. So they do it real slight. They might bring in something that you like. A person that's in your life. Or a scenario, or a person you close with. They'll bring something that you like. Something that'll take your mind off of it. You know what I'm saying? And then if that don't work, if you start to look at that shit like, hold on, I know what this is. I don't even give a fuck about this shit at the moment. This ain't something that make me enjoy myself. I don't really need this shit. Once they start seeing you got that kind of mind, or then they go to plan B. Then they fuck with like emotions and feelings. They bring a scenario where something or someone you care about be in a situation where you're needed. See, now they flip the script. They flip it in the 2-dimensional realm now. They leave from the 1-dimensional masculine left brain side, then they attack your right brain, and that's where they live at. That's where you live at also. When you dream, you're in the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimensional realm. Everything off resonation in your state of being, like your dream. You go to your state of being. You don't go how you travel 3rd dimensional wise in your dream. You go in your dream what state of being you in. And that what creates the scenarios you in and shit like that. The hell what you think is real. Yeah, they go to plan B. Plan B, they attack you emotionally. So that's coming to someone close to you, and you're going to be needed. Instead of something coming to you, or something coming on TV, or something coming on your phone to take your mind off of it, since they see that don't affect you, they come to something that you're going to be needed now. They go 2-dimensional now. Something you have to relate opposing to now. So now they get 2-dimensional. They come through your family or something that you're going to be needed in, that you're not even really, based upon the scenario that you have manifested to even be in a situation where you don't even look at it in a way that you will say no. They come to you like that, like, you know what I'm saying? Boom. If you mentally strong to the point that you have detached from so many people, friends, and family to the point that you don't even have those problems, they don't got no choice but to go to plan C, and that's fucking the 3, and that's like ABC, 1, 2, 3, coming right into the 3rd dimension and fucking with your physical body. You know what I'm saying? So they give you an illness, get you sick. You know what I'm saying? Make you go to the hospital don't know what's wrong with you and shit like that. And then they make up shit. You know what I'm saying? Then if you then once you get lost into that, you start to figure out, now you're going to the hospital every day. Now you're on medications. Now you're on this shit. Boom, boom, boom. But then if you're strong enough and you flip it on that level, you know what I'm saying? They ain't got no choice but to kill you. So, like I said, when you come in crystal being, you got to be careful in this 3rd dimensional realm, because they know you carrying a mind or an idea that doesn't necessarily resonate with the way this creation been evolving, right? And if any type of being feel like that's that, like, for an example, you got a job, right? So your manager ain't gonna like you coming in acting like you the boss if you just an employee. You see what I'm saying? So take that in the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimensional wise, right? If you got organs and systems that's running this body the way they running it, you come from a whole different constellation. You come from a whole different solar system. You come from a whole different galaxy or something. You come from a whole different esoteric astral realm country. You know what I'm saying? Constellation, asterism. You come from a whole different place. So you come here, you like me. We got all different ideas, imaginations, and shit like that, right? So, you know what I'm saying? At that point, it's almost going to be like this. You like a virus. Like, that's why when y'all heard, I had videos way back talking about I'm the sickest rapper alive. I got AIDS, I got herpes, I got all this kind of shit. Those are my ways to enlighten y'all back then. Talking about how when you are a piece of a being, and you're not, but the roles that you're playing out is not of that being, then you itself is not of that being. You're just traveling in that being at the moment. So people who got ideas that doesn't resonate with true logic, if you're super logical, super rational, and you don't care about nothing else 4th, 5th, and 6th dimensional as far as the subconscious realm, right? Because that's really just what it is, right? And you don't care anything about that, then that's a representation of straight up this consciousness and no consciousness from anywhere else. When you have dreams, imaginations, everybody have dreams and imaginations, but think about it like this. A logical, rational person have dreams and imaginations about logical, rational shit. A person who got true dreams and imaginations is true inventors, true creators, right? That didn't come from here. So take yourself out of your own shoes and put yourself in the shoes of the being we are in, right? As an overall being. That'd be like them sitting somewhere getting ideas from another being. Now those ideas and concepts, right, went into the being that y'all are currently in at the moment as a cloud. This being we are in, resonating with it or not, the ideas that it agree with start to matter. Then once it start to matter, it start to formulate into matter, what y'all call matter. Matter comes from the mind. Matter don't come from what y'all think in the physical realm. So once it start to matter, it becomes matter. Now it could become certain fluids and certain cells and things of that nature. Then as spirits, as we resonate as state of beings in those vessels and experience each level of life all the way till we come all the way down. So for the most part, think about it like that. For the motherfuckers who got far out ideas and new ass creations, who bring new creations here, the creators of the world. This is why, as Archangel Uriel, I can say with surety, you're not from here. So you don't gotta watch all the alien shit. You don't gotta watch all the UFO shit, the sci-fi channels. You got a motherfucking nigga sitting here telling you in the most literal way that make the most sense. Me telling you, you not from here. Motherfucker, you not from here. See what I'm saying? So I don't give a fuck if you got one idea that's indifferent than everybody in your household. That may be your physical family, but spiritually, y'all are from whole different places, whole different constellations. You might be from a whole nother different constellation star system, and you have died from those physical fleshly fluids, stars and lights and gases. And as a spirit, you have gained those information, so you didn't learn how to travel, aka based upon resonation, which you resonate with. And as a spirit, your space, you didn't travel to the next place that you resonated with, and went into those realm of lights and started creating your solar plexus and all your other plexuses and shit like that to be aware of yourself as an existence in that realm of reality, in that illusion, in that frequency vibration, until that expires. To it, you know what I'm saying? So you could almost look at it like this. Let me get a sheet of paper. I'm gonna close this video out real quick so I can get into y'all emails and shit. You know what I'm saying? Where's the ink pen at? You could almost look at it like this. You see what I'm saying? Come on, man. Where's the fucking ink pen? See, this is what happens. Because I had an ink pen on deck. As soon as I want to write something down, that's when that shit would have disappeared. So, you know, fuck that shit then. Thanks for fucking up the video, ink pen. You know what I'm saying? Thanks for fucking up the motherfucking video. I don't really let that shit ride. Hold on, I don't let that shit ride. Yeah, fuck that shit. Alright, we got a pen. I ain't letting that shit ride. Alright, now check this out. I'm about to draw out the frequencies for y'all. Where we at? Now look, you see this line, right? Check that out, right? Now, you gonna be able to guess where we at in a second. You know what I'm saying? You gonna be able to see where we at in a second. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck are you doing? Now check this out. Now, this is why you need to know we in a fucking body of water. Now, the way y'all not understanding the body of water because you in it. You see what I'm saying? You in it. You in this rainbow waters. Right? Now, all water frequencies play out in the same fucking way. Even if you fucking run your fucking bath water. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have the most subtle at the bottom. You see what I'm saying? Which is going to be the most flat line. Which will be, in our realm of reality, how we supposed to look at it will be the heaviest current. You see what I'm saying? That's why we got the word heavy there. You know what I'm saying? Now, the higher to the tippy the top of the water you get in any realm of reality, the lighter it is. This is why you got those deep, dark sea creatures at the bottom, and you got the little litty goldfish at the top. Now, look at this as another evolution of that same cycle, which y'all want to call land. But land is just another version of what the fuck I just broke down when we talk about water. Now, check this out. So what you think is land is really not. Check this out, right? So this is where we at right here in the third dimension. So this is the frequency vibration that the music is playing on as far as this dimension. So it's making all kind of stars and geometric shapes based upon the realm of reality. But this is the whole plane of existence we are in right now as far as, you know what I'm saying, this dimension. This is the third dimension, right? So this will be 1, 2, and 3, right? This will be 4, 5, and 6. So you see the static of the frequency gets a lot wider. You see what I'm saying? So this is more dealing with the subconscious. This is dealing with the conscious. This is dealing with the subconscious. You know what I'm saying? So this is dealing with movement, experience. You know what I'm saying? Resonation. You know, state of being. You know what I'm saying? Emotional awareness. You know what I'm saying? What's truly you. The shit you can't hide from. You know what I'm saying? No shape and form here. Just your imagination on what you think you're going into once you start to create one of these again. Down here. to vibrate low enough to appear to be solid. Now up here, you get a bunch of the motherfucking static. So you get a lot of static. It's so staticky up here that imagination and dreams change at an instant. So this would be like the 7th, 8th, and 9th dimension. You see what I'm saying? So up here, this is where all imaginations can be experienced at an instant. But with no movement through it, right? It's just all scattered. We all one piece. We all, you know what I'm saying? We all individual, but we all have urges. Let's say, as soon as you get an imagination, you emit a light, and everybody get enticed by their dreams and imagination, so that automatically puts them in to the subconscious by default. So now they have a state of being, so they're gonna resonate with what they think they was emitting. Now that light have to be created, right? So as they start to resonate back and forth with the frequency vibration on a larger scale, but it just be more on a like 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension, 7th, 8th, and 9th dimension, but look at the 7th, 8th, and 9th as frequency, and look at the 4th, 5th, and 6th as vibration. That's why it's subconscious. You see what I'm saying? Then you get the conscious, 3rd dimension down here. Once these start to resonate, once the soul go back into the spirit, the vibrate and the frequency keep going in, and once that frequency keep continuing to vibrate, it could create a realm of reality, a vibration that could be seen as solid. And then this is where y'all go, and then for the most part, what's underneath that is a bunch of flat lines. You see what I'm saying? So when you expire from that, this is where the flatline concept come from, because it can no longer can no longer be no more the more subtle, the more down, the more density, you die. So it's like you separate, but you just divide really. Your spirit divide from that flat line, that physical form that just went down and became part of the realm of that you made it out of, the light that you made it out of. That was a light body. You know what I'm saying? The flat line is flat now. You know what I'm saying? Then what you do is go back up here as the frequency, as the overall state of being. Then you go emitting another imagination again. Take your ass back to the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension. And depending on how lost you was or whatever experience you was going, that's another kind of shape and form you're going to create again. Then bring your ass back down. Then, you know what I'm saying? But you can escape this whole motherfucking little cycle right there. You know what I'm saying? But it's going to play out like that in some way, shape, and form. No matter who you go into. And I'm going to say who. I'm going to say who. You see what I'm saying? Now this who may be whatever you try to call God. But I'm Archangel Uriel, and I'm telling you, it is not. It is a God. That's why we came up with the word a. But God in his truest state of being, is the state of being. And it's a parameter. And that parameter is where all the power, all the source, everybody copied from. Everybody made their space try to look like that space, try to come with their own kind of shapes and forms to try to look like something that has no look, has no shape, has no form, that is no thing. And everybody try to be something and become something, because nobody can truly be that no thing. But when you really understand that you are no thing, no shape and form, then you will be able to be in that space of the true no thing, no shape and form, and be able to be like, okay, you become one overall space, one overall parameter, one overall state of being. You see what I'm saying? It's like, that's some other shit though. And this video ain't even really had no motherfucking topic. I just felt like going off before I get into these emails, because that took a toll on me. That took a motherfucking toll on me. Flight bus, bitch. Goddamn air.